I've had a few people ask over the years, and especially recently, here's a photo of part of a backsplash that I created, and I've had a few people ask, how do I get really nice round circles like yours? So I thought I'd do this video, and one of the important things when creating a round circle is the tile. Some tiles will be very hard and will be actually a little bit harder to get that roundness in them, and others can be a bit softer, which makes it a bit easier. But being softer also, you have to be careful of where you're going to use it. What I generally do in this particular instance is I've got some wall tile here. It's just a standard type of wall tile. They were given to me, so I have no idea what brand it is. And you just get a container. It can be any container. You can, you might have a jar full of things, or you might just want to use a lid, just depending on what you've got around. In the case of the backsplash I've done recently, I used this container. I used a smaller one, and then I used a very small, kind of like an ornament cup to do the small one. So in this particular case, all I do is I lay it onto the tile. I grab a Textacolor or marker pen, and I just trace around it. Now, like I say, you can do this by hand, but this just makes sure your circle is absolutely 100% round. And in this particular case where I made this backsplash, or I'm part way through it, I want the circles to be really, really good. Now, when it comes to this, I can immediately nip straight away, but what I like to do, and this is my way of doing it, you might have a better way, and if you do, leave it down in the comments section on the YouTube channel so everyone else can see your way of doing it. And also, Caroline Gerald-Waller has a way of cutting circles, so you might want to go to her channel, which is called Mango Mosaics, and she will also show you her way of cutting out a circle. Anyway, what I do is I nip away the edge first, because what I'm wanting to do is divide and conquer, as I've said in one of my previous videos. If I went straight in and started on the edge, it may chip across this way. So I generally just go round roughly. And like I say, you might have a different way of doing it, I'm sure you do. And then what I do is I go in with the double-wheeled nippers, and just like that. Now I use my finger, you might see I'm cutting quite finite. I use my finger at the back to guide the lower one. Now I find this is equally important. By using the finger at the back, it guides the lower wheel. So it enables me to go in or out as far as I want, or as small as I want in the nips. And what I'm doing now is I'm just really going in and just lightly nipping that edge. I'm not putting the wheel right in here. I'm just going around lightly nipping it. And you can go, of course, again, and just finely shave those little edges off, so you get a really, really nice edge. And that's basically all I do. And of course, if you have a grinder, if it's really imperative, you can grind them. So by doing this, I find this works really well, generally without grinding. If I have a very, very hard tile, then what I also do is dip the edge of it in water, just for about 10 seconds. And that tends to, see, now I'll go in there and just take those little bits off. Always using my finger at the back. Using that finger at the back just helps guide me, so as I can work a little bit faster. It's just a guide, that's all, and then you can go in and just finite it again. So that's really all I do. And the more you do it, the better you will become. So I'll just finish this off for you. And I'll show you another tip as well in a tick. And you get a really nice round circle. You can also use these, which are compound nippers, to take off the finite bits like that. And that works quite well. And I use these tools mostly when I'm doing them, because I find that between them, they really do a lovely job to get that really nice edge. There you go. And you end up with a really nice edge. So you can go all around there. Now, the other thing I tend to do with these is I tend to hold them on a bit of an angle as well. When you're coming to a finite edge, you will see that it kind of chips off here. So by holding it on a bit of an angle like that, and I hope I'm in the shot, see, you can then just adjust it and take off very small amounts. And that will also make the edge smoother. While I've been doing my backsplash mosaic, I've been looking at ways how I could make it a little bit different, incorporate different things into it. Up on the screen now is a photograph of some black and white tiles that I have used to create a bit of interest within the mosaic. It can be a bit fiddly, kind of like arranging these to how you want, you know, on the angles. So I thought I need a quicker way and an easier way that will give me the absolute curve I want without taking too much time. And the way I came up with was a piece of plastic. Now this piece of plastic that I've got here has actually been cut off one of those storage boxes. There's, you know, those clear storage boxes, and they have lids, and they come in different sizes. They're available pretty well everywhere. Well, I took the lid off one because I didn't need it, and I cut a piece of plastic out. But what I've done is I grab the tiles and then I can curve it like that. So I'm able to get a really nice curve, and then I can go back this way if I choose. I'm able to get a really nice curve how I want it. Now obviously you can't do a really sharp curve, because if you did, you would have big gaps in between your tiles, the sharper it is, so you'd have to keystone them. So it closes the gap down. But this is just an idea. It worked well for me, and it may help you in some way as well. When I'm cutting round mirror like this, sometimes this can happen. And it's happened to me in the past, and occasionally happens, but not often. So how I stop that from happening, and you want a straight line, so if you're connecting it with something or putting it up against something, you want a straight line, you don't want chunks out of it like that. I tend to get the mirror, put it in the middle, your wheel nippers in the middle, if you can see that. And you'll see it's on a slight angle. What I tend to do is straighten it with my fingers, put it in the center, hold, and nip. And you get this really straight edge, not like this one. So by holding it in your wheel nippers in the center and holding it so it's flat like that, and you hold it together, it will stop the wheels from crunching to the side and doing this. Every time, or pretty well every time, you'll always get a straight line. Well, I hope that's helped you. If you have any other ideas or any ways on improving what I've done, put them down in the comments section on YouTube. I would be happy to have a look at them. I'm sure others would be happy to learn another way on doing this. And I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy.